Yellow tea is probably the most rare of all the teas, accounting for maybe less than 0.5% of the total tea production in China. Yellow tea used to be an imperial tribute tea, which meant it was reserved only for the emperors. The reason for that is yellow used to be the color of the emperors in ancient China. The method to make yellow tea was actually lost for over 100 years and rediscovered in the 1970s. And since the 1970s, they've started to produce yellow tea again in China in small quantities. And now it's still considered an imperial tribute tea. However, the emperors in China have been replaced by the politicians. So this is a gift tea given to VIPs and people of importance. Yellow tea is made in a very similar way to green tea. So they take the bud and the first leaf or the first two leaves, they wither it under the sun, and then they pan fry it to deactivate the enzyme that causes oxidation. But after this point, yellow tea differs in its processing. What they do is they steam the leaf and they pile it up and then they cover the leaf. So it has a time to heat in a moist environment. What this does is this starts to leach out and remove some of the grassier elements of the tea. In China they call it reabsorbing its own flavour. And it softens the tea and brings the flavour profile something closer to a white tea. So yellow tea, in terms of flavour, is in between white and green tea. So let's take a little look at the wet leaf. You can see in this case it's one bud and one leaf, and it's extremely pale, very light. You can see that they were picked from baby leaves. In terms of the flavour profile, yellow tea is very pure. It's kind of like summer dew. It has a beautiful lingering sweetness. It has some of the freshness of green tea, but the softness and elegance of a white tea. I like to drink this throughout the day, but I wouldn't pair it with food because it's too light. It's very calming and relaxing. So if you find that life is getting a bit too hectic, treat yourself to a very rare tea and escape with a cup of yellow.